In the next few minutes, you're going to learn the exact techniques that have been responsible for tens of millions of pounds made on Amazon. This will be the most valuable video you watch on this topic, so strap in. Now, you've probably heard of fine products with high sales and low competition, and thankfully for you, I'm not going to actually talk to you about that today. I'm not going to be saying that nonsense. In fact, you're going to be shocked when you find out what we've been doing for the past few years and how successful it's been and how easy it is to implement. For example, I'm going to give you a product research course 100% free. For everyone that comments, I'm going to give you something very special, which I'll explain later on in the video. I'm going to give you resources, guides, standard operating procedures, but first, I'm going to teach it to you. First of all, I'm assuming you already know what Amazon FBA and private labeling is, but if you don't, go and check out this video now. Before you start looking at products to sell, you need to understand what you're looking for. Let's head over to the office. I'm going to show you a resource that you can use for this. One of the first things you need to know is what products to actually find. So I've got a ton of resources for you today to help you get started. The first thing I'm going to do is bring you over to this little standard operating procedure here, product research criteria. This is linked in the description. Step one, you need to look at your budget. The process, right? The first thing you need to do is work out how much you have to dedicate towards this business. If it's 500, 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, 20,000, 50,000, right? You need to know that figure. Don't just say, oh, whatever. Have a figure in mind. You're going to remove some startup costs around 100 to 200 pounds. So getting company set up, if you want an email address, if you want barcodes, got 100 to 200 pounds for this. This will also be things like Helium 10 product research tools. You're going to allocate some for marketing and branding. So for example, you might spend a few £100s on photography. You might spend a few hundred on graphic design, 3D renders. So put aside about 1,000 for that. And then you're going to add on about 15% extra just because you might mess up, right? So add on 15%. Then calculate your remaining figure. What you're probably asking is, well, okay, what do I do with that number? When you research your products, you're going to assume that the recommended retail price, or the RRP, or basically the price that is on Amazon, is between 4 and 5 times the cost of goods landed. Now, I know there's a lot of terminology there. Cost of goods is how much the goods cost, and landed means that they're in the country where they're going to be sold, taxes and duties paid, right? So you've got no more to spend to actually get those products sold. For example, if the product cost is £3 landed, so that's all your taxes and duties paid, so this is at Amazon's warehouse at this point, you're going to be selling them between 12 and 15 pounds. Of course, those are going to be estimates. This will go up and down, but as a rough rule of thumb, start here. Step two is you're going to look at the volumes of units that you can actually start to look at. So you're going to have to do some rough calculations based upon your boundaries. You could buy 500 units landed at £6, or 700 units landed at £4.28, or you could have 500 units at the £3 cost, but you still have half your budget left over, so you can do another 500 unit order once you start getting your sales from Amazon. Create a variety of calculations just like this. So when you're researching, you might see a product that sells for £14 and think, right, I know that's roughly going to be £3 per unit. How many units will I be able to afford? If you can see that they're doing 500 units per month, you'll be thinking, okay, I can afford 2 months supply, or you could do 500 up front and then wait for 500 on the reorder. The more variations to do, more informed you will be. Step three is, whilst there are many options and many opportunities, try at the beginning to stick to some of these guidelines to make it a little bit easier for you. Even if the products are harder, I don't believe it means that they are off the table. It just means that the barrier to entry increases. Normally, you just have to be more experienced, or you have to have more money or more time. However, I wouldn't write them off completely. So you're going to revert to 2 sheets that I've got for you, right? But overall, products must be brandable. There must be an opportunity to stand out. There must be an opportunity to grow with the opportunity ladder, which is the next tip. And the less complex the product, the easier it becomes. For example, breakables, like knives and things like that, electronics and moving parts, they will be harder. There'll be more tests. There'll be more things that you need to put in place. So if you're a beginner, you might want to stay away from these things. But at the same time, if you want a challenge, then there's no reason why you can't. So let's go ahead and look at these 2 documents here that are linked. The first is going to be the product opportunity worksheet. Again, this is linked down in the description. If you're liking this so far, give it a thumbs up, a comment, and of course, make sure you subscribe. So use this worksheet to log and describe the issues with the niche or the product or the other sellers, okay? So you're going to put in, you can just go to File, make a copy for all of these documents, enter the product, enter the rough amount of monthly sales they're doing, the broadest keyword, again, all of this we're going to get onto, looking at the trends, is it seasonal? Is this something you're looking at today, but it's not going to be selling tomorrow? You're going to look at these key areas for an opportunity. You're going to look for the hero image opportunity. For example, looking at packaging, looking at the way that they're facing, looking for color. Again, we're going to go through this in more detail. The listing images, we're going to look for opportunities where other sellers are doing a really bad job at communicating their products, features, and benefits. We're going to look at branding. So are there brands there already that look really good, or are they just all a mismatch of like letters and words that don't really make sense? Is there an opportunity to be a clinical brand or a luxury brand within the current gamut of sellers? With the product, are there opportunities within the reviews to say that you could improve on the product? You could have better guides, you could have better educational material, you could have more sturdy materials. What are the opportunities within the products? So this is a little worksheet that you'll be going through and just kind of ticking it off and filling it out. And the other document linked down below is the product research checklist. So as you're doing this research you're going to learn how to do today, you can tick them off. The demand that meets your criteria, yes, tick. The search volume is there, yes, tick. You've checked the trends, yes, tick. There's an opportunity within the images and marketing, yes. The branding, yes. The product, yes. You've done your due diligence to make sure that you know about selling restrictions, yes. Intellectual property, yes. And you can use this checklist all the way up to creating your offer and almost getting ready to order. So download this, print it off, and then you can use it at your convenience. The next step is I'm going to tell you what products to stay away from. It's none. That's the answer. The answer is none. Pinch of salt with that one, please. Many people will tell you don't do electronics or don't do anything breakable or don't do anything big, but someone has to sell those products. If they make money, there is an opportunity for you to make money. Yes, those products can cause more issues, but someone's got to do it. So where there is demand, there is always opportunity. Every time a product becomes harder, it's raising the barrier to entry. For example, if you want to make it really, really hard and you want to start a vodka brand, you're going to have to jump through a ton of hoops to get there. And it's not going to be easy. It's going to be very costly. So do you know what? As your first product, probably not a good idea. But if that's what you want to do, I would potentially suggest wet your feet with some other products first, like maybe products around the alcohol niche. If you want to go into that, there's nothing stopping you from doing it. I believe that everything should be looked at in terms of risk rather than do this or don't do this. Everyone's risk profile is going to be different, and something that you won't do, someone else will jump at the opportunity for. I want to talk to you about common myths. I hinted at this at the beginning of the video, and most people say find a product with high sales and low competition. There are many myths out there. This is the biggest one. I'm going to break it down so simply that your granny would get it. Imagine a beach. It's a very hot summer's day. There's no shops around, and someone is going around selling bottles of water, and they sell out because they can't fulfill the demand of all the people that are on the beach getting some sun. So more people start selling bottles of water, but there's so many people and they're so very thirsty. Over time, the first person was killing it, so they made a cafe on the beach, and they were doing incredibly well. But the beach is big and people still need water and there's still demand for it. The people selling the water expand their ranges. They start selling Coke and Fanta and ice lollies. And then others come in to start selling sunglasses and so on. But there's still people coming to the beach every single day, and all of those people are making money. And the moral of the story here is that where there is demand, there will always be competition. If not now, but in the future. That first person that started selling bottled water that eventually went on to have the cafe, there was no competition for them at the beginning. Because there was demand, competition followed. So the first thing is you need to understand that competition shows buoyancy in the market. It shows that customers actually are buying the products. The second concept where people really just, I don't even know what they're thinking, is that they say competition is actually the number of reviews that other sellers have. So what they're actually saying is other sellers with high reviews, not competition, because competition and reviews are different. The problem here is that high, the word high, is subjective. Is 100 high? Is 200 high? Is 10,000 high? And the products might not be in actual competition. So if there is a luxury version and a basic version, they are not in competition. They're targeting two different customers. And thirdly, Amazon are always changing. For example, at the moment, when I'm recording this video, they've got rid of the star rating. They're just showing like 1 star and a 4.3 rating, or showing how many reviews are over 4 stars. That might change by the time you're watching this, but this idea that the number of reviews is relative to the amount of competition is not true. What is really important is the quality of those reviews. If you go into a seller and they've got a ton of reviews, but the quality is awful, that's an opportunity to stand out. That's an opportunity to take those customers that would be buying that product and get them to buy yours instead. If all of your competitors are killing it, they all have incredible reviews, they've got just the most amazing products ever, then there's probably not a big gap in the market. But we all know that it's not like that. Just analyze some reviews and you'll quickly find areas to stand out. Lean into the competition and not away from it. And build your business and your brand for longevity rather than that quick little buck. By focusing on standing out against the competition, by focusing on the customers, overcoming the issues with the products, making sure your marketing is on point, you're building a long-term brand that is worth more money. So ditch the idea right now that the number of reviews equals competition. It doesn't. It equals opportunity. To do our product research, we're going to be using this document called the Product Opportunity database. This is something that I've created where you can put all of your data in and it's not going to be all over the place. When people start, they often struggle with, they're looking for a product and then they save some information, then they forget it and they don't have any clarity on if it's going to work or if it's not. I'm going to go through some of this and show you how to find products at the same time. This document, you're going to have to work hard to get because I put a lot of time and effort into doing this. So if you want this, DM me on Instagram. My handle is just down here, Johnny Bradley UK. DM me POD, Product Opportunity Database, and I will send you the link where you can just go file, make a copy. So you can have this completely free of charge, but you've got to send me a DM on Instagram first, okay? So let's go through this. On this, you have the key data about the product so you can understand a little bit about the selling price, about the demand. You can look through the review opportunities to find negative reviews and positive review opportunities. You can look through customer questions, I haven't filled that one out, about what questions are commonly asked about the product so you can action them. The customer needs, so you make sure you understand the customer's buying intent. The product opportunity, so you can understand what competitors are doing what with their product. The hero image opportunity, so you can stand out within your marketing, and then the branding image opportunity, so you can stand out within your branding. Once you've filled out this document, you will have a lot of clarity on how to proceed. And this is where most people go wrong. They don't have any sort of structure. They really don't know what they're doing. Once you put structure in place and you have measurement, it actually becomes very easy. So we can go onto Amazon, and I'm using amazon.co.uk, but you can use whatever one you want. First things first is you're going to want to have Helium 10 downloaded and installed in Chrome. There is a link in the description for a discount. Use it because I get affiliate commission, right? I make money when you do that, so use it. This is a free YouTube video, so pay me somehow. Many people will tell you to use Helium 10, use their black box tool to search through the products that meet your criteria. I'm not going to tell you that today because it's boring as shit. I'm going to do something else. We're going to go to the best sellers badge at the top here. Okay, I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and then you're going to choose a department. So I'm going to choose, let's go with home and kitchen. Okay, once I'm in home and kitchen, all I'm going to do is start scrolling until I see a product that is potentially private labelable, right, or brandable. So like a lunchbox. Okay, I'm going to open that up in a new tab. I'm not doing much with it. Storage bags. I'm just going to open them up and move on. Coat hangers, maybe, maybe not. Lunch bag, I'm going to open that one up. Let's keep going. Let's open a few more. Waterproof mattress. Iron is going to be a bit too complex for beginners. Scissors, again, maybe dangerous, but potentially you could do it. I'm going to keep going. I'll get maybe a couple more that we can look at. A sewing kit set. Right, and let's stop there. The first thing you might be thinking is, oh, were you just going for the best sellers? No, that's not what we're doing here. We're just using this as a way to try and identify more product options. So this is quite a big brand, so this may not be relevant. However, what I can do is search bento box, and then we can start to look at, is there demand within bento boxes? We're just trying to find the opportunity, again, within these key areas. The hero image, the listing images, the branding, and the product itself, ensuring that there is enough sales that meet our criteria. Okay, so let's go back to the bento box. Okay, open up Helium 10. It's going to take a second to load. I'm going to open up the X-ray tool. This is the one that you'll be using most. And you can see here very quickly that there is demand for these products because they're selling 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 grand in sales per month. A lot of these have quite low BSR, so it's going to be hard to really get to this market. We're going to look at something called the opportunity ladder. So we're going to use this product as the opportunity ladder analysis. The first thing I'm going to do is organize by revenue. Now, normally you wouldn't do this, but we're strapped with time, so I'm just going to go with it straight away. First of all, we can see for bento box, there is a big search volume of 10,000 or nearly 11,000 monthly searches. This is a product that has a really healthy demand. It does mean that it's going to be a bit more competitive, but we can get onto that later. What we want to see within the opportunity ladder is at the top of the ladder, some sellers doing really, really, really good. At the bulk of the ladder, the middle of the pack, the sellers are doing on average a good amount. And then at the bottom of the pack, people are still, or the bottom of the ladder, again, people are still making money, but they're just not making as much. If we have a look on this first page here, I would say that the top of the pack are these two sellers here, right? Doing 47 and 63,000 pounds per month in sales. The middle of the pack goes from this kind of 30 range to this, I would say 10. So 10 to 30,000 per month is the middle of the pack. And then anything I would say below 9,000 up to that kind of 2,000 is the bottom of the pack. Now, what we want to be able to see is that people are still making money down here at the bottom of the ladder. There's a lot of people making money in the middle, and there's a few people at the top making a huge amount of money. If we can see that split, we know there's the opportunity to grow over time. At the beginning, you're not going to be one of these top sellers. You're probably not going to be one of these middle of the pack sellers, but you might be one of these kind of bottom of the pack sellers. Over time, over 6, 12, 18 months, you're going to gain notoriety in the niche. You're going to get better at optimizing your listing. You'll get more reviews. You'll get better reviews. You might do different promotions, and you'll gain and you'll climb the ladder. Hopefully over a couple of years or so, you want to really push to try and be those top sellers. You can even scroll to the right hand side and you can see when some of these launch their products. So these guys, kind of mid 2022, we've got the beginning of 2022. These guys here is actually earlier this year. These ones earlier this year. Let's have a look at these ones. And they are doing 12,000 per month. This shows you that launching a product this year, you can still get up to the point where you're creating a 6-figure business just by selling a product, a simple product like this. Now, the next strategy that you can use is you want to try and find common FBA products like this one. And we want to go over to the right-hand side and we want to see who it's sold by. We click on that seller and we can go to their storefront. What we want to see is what other products are they selling? And that might give us ideas about other products we can look into. So they solely sell storage bags. So do you know what? Let's just have a look at storage bags. Let's go back to here, storage bags. So yeah, let's have a little look at these. These are again quite a common Amazon product. I'm not with any of these saying go and do them, do your own due diligence, do your own research, but this is how the process goes. You can see here that this has a larger search volume. This has larger revenue as well. And if you look at the ladder, there is a ginormous ladder. The ladder is very, very, very tall. So we can go a lot further down to find sellers that are still doing well. So I would even break this into 4 parts of the ladder. The top sellers doing these 400s, the kind of mid top doing 100 to 250,000, and then we've got even these ones here. I would say actually they're at the top of the ladder as well. I'd say these guys here from 75 to 130, they're the top middle, and then we've got the very top sellers at the top. And then we have the middle of the pack, and then we have the bottom of the ladder as well. So again, this is a really healthy niche. There is a lot of demand here. Now notice, through any of this, I've not even looked at the reviews, right? I've not looked at the number of the reviews, but if we look at this seller here, they've got 148 reviews, which isn't crazy big. Then they're doing 40 grand a month, and they started 2-3 years ago. So they've been around a while. Let's look for a seller that's got even less, 42 reviews. They're doing 5,000-6,000 per month. They're probably a newer seller. Yeah. So they started in end of April this year. Over time, they'll gain reviews. They will go up the ranks. They'll get better data. They'll be better at running PPC. So whilst this is a really, really high in demand market, there might still be opportunity, but we're not going to know that until we go through the product opportunity database. So let's start doing that with let's do it with the bento box, right? So what you're going to do with this is you're going to take the key data from the top 10 competitors and you're just going to paste it into here. What you'll then see is laid out very simply the selling price and the monthly sales of these people, along with maybe the main keyword. And the reason why we want to know the keywords is bento box might not be the main keyword. It might be lunchbox. Lunchbox might be providing most of the sales, and actually bento box is providing 50% of the sales or 40% of the sales. And the way we can see that is when we use Helium 10, it'll actually show you the amount of searches per month. So if bento box has 10,000, 11,000, but then lunchbox has 30,000, you'll know that, do you know what? Some of these sellers, they might be getting a lot of their sales from lunchboxes. So all you want to do is just put that data in there. You then want to start looking at the review opportunity, not the number of reviews, it's the quality of the reviews that make the difference. So all we're going to do is we're going to go through the reviews of these products, right? Of these top 10 sellers. So I'm just going to pick, let's pick this one to start. I'm going to use Helium 10's Review Insights tool. And what you can do is go to all reviews and you can actually look at just the 1-star reviews or just the 5-star ones. So if we look at the, let's go the ratings 1 and 2-star only. Let's go by most recent and apply those filters. There's going to be a lot of German ones or French ones here, it looks like. So now we can see just the 1-star review. So if we go back to our product opportunity database, we can look at the keywords that keep coming up in these reviews and just count how many times they appear, right, for the competitors, and do this with the top 10. So breaks easily might come up 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12 times. Smaller than expected might come out more often. You then want to put down the key themes that you find within this analysis and then just put what you're going to do. So size expectation, if they think it's smaller than expected, be extremely clear and show examples and make it easy to understand on your images. If it's flimsy, look for high quality materials. You're looking at the reviews, analyzing them, and then having an action based upon what you would do to overcome those issues. This helps form your sourcing and helps form your marketing. You're going to do exactly the same with positive review opportunities. If it works perfectly, you'll find the positive reviews that say it works incredible, it really helps me do this, the guide that we included was incredible. So then again, you can say, well, size expectation was really important. It was a perfect fit. Say some gloves. It was a perfect fit, which means you have to be extremely clear and show examples, which is exactly the same as the negative review opportunity. Go through this, do all 10 competitors, and you'll have a really good data set here. You can do exactly the same for customer questions. I haven't filled this out, but you can go through the listings, look at the questions that people ask, find out how many times they come up, and then what are you going to do to make sure that customers don't need to even ask these questions in the first place. Similarly, we're going to look at customer needs. Why are customers buying the product? So in the reviews, you might see, I bought this because, in which case you can start to write these down. Or just use your own mind. Why does someone want a bento box? Well, they want to get away from the pain of having a soggy banana in their bag. They want to have towards the pleasure of having it all neat and packed. You're going to look at desired outcomes and undesired outcomes. In terms of desired outcome, they want to make sure that their lunch doesn't fly everywhere. An undesired outcome would be that their bento box was flimsy and it broke in their bag and their lunch went everywhere. Okay? The same thing. What's your key takeaways and what's your relative actions that you're going to take for your product to overcome these? You're then going to do the product opportunity. You're going to go through all of the competitors and just say, what are the sizes? What are the key features? So if it's wattage or sound or color or size, just write down what those key characteristics are and then put the pros and the cons of those. At the end, what are your key takeaways? Do you know what? Most sell a 4-in-1. Most are unreliable. Most don't have branded packaging. And then what are you going to do to overcome those and be better than everyone else? This is where you get into the hero image opportunity. So I'm going to show you this rather than tell you this. So let's go back to bento box. What you would do here is you would take screenshots of your top 10 competitors, and all you're going to do is put them into these cells just here. You're then going to go through and just mark if the box is present or is not. What color is showing? Are there accessories included? What way is the product facing? And then you can just add columns for features that are relevant to your product, okay? So if we were looking at this one, these ones are facing left, 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 right, straight down, right, right, straight down. And then you'll be able to look at the colors. You'll then be able to see what accessories are included, if they're in perspective or not. And once you've done that, scroll down to commonalities and just literally note how many had a box, how many were black products, how many were unrealistic sizes, how many show accessories, how many show multiple colors, how many are against terms of service. All you do is you log the number of times those came up. And then you're looking at the biggest commonalities and then how you're going to be different. This isn't how do I be the same, it's how do I stand out. So if everyone has no box, what do? You have a branded box and you show it in your hero image. If everyone has unrealistic sizes of like the product and the accessories, all different sizes, make sure everything is realistic and in proportion. If no one is showing the variations, but they have loads of color variations, then just show the variations on the hero image. If all of them are against terms of service, make sure yours are in terms of service. Obviously, do that anyway. You then have an idea of how you're going to market your product and get it out there using your hero image. The same happens for branding. You're going to write down the brand names of your top competitors. You're going to think, how do I perceive this brand? Is it like Chinese cheap nonsense, or is it something that's really knowledgeable? They look scientific, they look trustworthy, they look well researched. You're just going to write that in there. You're going to look at the pros, you're going to look at the cons. And then like before, you put your key takeaways and the key actions you're going to take about your brand so you can stand out. From completing this, you will go very quickly from identifying a product that meets your criteria, that you will be able to order, you could afford, you're going to be able to stand out and climb the ladder over time. You've identified an opportunity within the product, the marketing, and the branding, all by using one document. And for some of these things, you can help AI do it for you, like the review opportunity. You can actually do this using AI and ChatGPT. And if you want to know how to do that, I've got a free standard operating procedure that will be linked in the description. One thing that I forgot to mention is something called the root keyword. Now, you may have seen it in the database there, but it is very, very important. Here's what it is. When you're searching on Amazon, you're going to be typing in a keyword to try and find that product. Now, this is known as a customer query, and some of those queries will be more specific than others. For example, one would be a dog lead and the other would be a dog lead for an aggressive dog. We need to find find the root keyword. And this is one that describes the product in the simplest form possible. So using the dog lead as an analogy, you could say leather dog lead. Is that the most simple way to describe a dog lead? No. Is dog lead the most simple way? Possibly. Is lead the most simple way? Well, actually, yeah, a lead is a lot simpler than dog lead, but a lead is also a USB lead or a power lead. So it's not the simplest way of describing that product. Dog lead would be the root keyword. When you're searching on Amazon like we were a second ago, you need to make sure that you're using the root keyword, because otherwise you're not going to get an understanding of the actual demand of the product. When you're looking at the demand and the search volume, anything over 10,000 is going to be probably quite hard for a beginner to get into. Between that 5, 7, 8,000 range is going to be quite a good, healthy market. When you only see a few hundred searches per month, you just move on and find another product that has more demand. If you combine everything you've seen today, these are the keys to a really successful product on Amazon. I've seen thousands of people go through this process, and I promise you, if you just follow this advice, you will be leagues ahead of everybody else. If you're at this part of the video, you might be thinking, oh, but I don't want to fill out a document, I don't want to fill out a spreadsheet. Just get a grip and do it. You will be way better off with this information and with these resources than without them. I can promise you that. This last step is critical. Now you've got a great product idea worked out, you've got it all in the database and you're all happy. What do you do next? I've created a follow along course that I'm going to give you for free today. In the description, it's going to say free research course with a link. Just follow that, opt in, and I'm going to send you that today. Once you've done that, all you need to do is subscribe to the channel and watch my other videos. Here's one that's going to help you straight away. I'm Johnny Bradley, and remember, you're just one product away. Bye-bye.